Okay, here's what you need to realize. We're in a very unique time in the cryptocurrency space. We're still very early. I mean, the space is only 10 years old. When OGs of cryptocurrency are people who've only gotten in this space 3 to 4 years ago, you know this space has a lot of room to grow if it is to succeed. And keep in mind, for a while, it was only Bitcoin. Altcoins still much newer than Bitcoin. We still have yet to find an altcoin that's going to stand the test of time, that's going to have value like Bitcoin has value. I'm sure it's possible. We just need more time. The fact is, guys, all of these altcoins back in the day, they pumped it's not because they provided massive value. They pumped because of pure greedy speculation, and they fell down just as quickly as we all realized the market was overvalued. Actually, the only exception might be Binance Coin, which Binance, they found a way to integrate their coin into their exchange and provide massive utility, which of course is centralized. So if Binance goes down or if Binance has any trouble, well, there goes Binance Coin. But at least Binance Coin was actually able to provide enough value that people used it. Anyways, here's the thing. The fact that you know even a little bit about this space, the fact that you know how to do basic research, you know basic history, you can go on an exchange, you can buy Bitcoin, you can buy altcoins, this puts you leagues ahead of the general public. It's just like how back in 1994, if you even knew how to turn on a computer, you were leagues ahead. If you even knew how to navigate through AOL email, it put you leagues ahead of the general public. Anyways, I've made it no secret. Right now, I'm just buying Bitcoin. I think we're in a unique time where the stars are aligning for Bitcoin, and we're going to look back and we're going to wish that we had bought more Bitcoin now. That being said, fact is, when new money comes into this space in droves, I'm under no delusion, the natural human reaction is going to be to try and find the next Bitcoin, and then altcoins are going to pump. And I hope we do discover an altcoin that differentiates itself and has actual utility and can stand the test of time. But I do think in this next cycle, when new money comes in, they're going to invest in alts that have less to do with value and more to do with speculation. And again, the speculation is going to drive up these illiquid altcoins, which are going to be prone to pump harder than ever before, as we have more on-ramps than ever before. The user friendliness has never been greater than ever before. So the new people who come into this space, they're going to put their money into altcoins for sure. And at that same time, I think you and I will already hopefully be up in our Bitcoin positions, and we'll probably want to put a little bit of our money into altcoins to try and catch some of those crazy gains, which will cause them to pump even higher and cause new people to get interested in them. And it's a whole vicious cycle. We've seen it before. This is what makes sense to me, but there's a few things you need to keep in mind regarding these altcoins. 3 things. Number 1. Not all altcoins are created equal. Number 2, new altcoins are being created every single day. And number 3, if you look back at the history of the market, you can see that altcoins that were created 5-6 years ago were not necessarily the altcoins that were pumping in 2017. I mean, the altcoins that pumped hard in 2017 were new and hot and shiny. Of course, there are exceptions, like XRP, like Ripple. So the question is, when the time comes, should I invest in old altcoins, all of our favorites, which we know so much about, or should I invest in new altcoins? That's the question. Let me know what you think in the comments. If there's an altcoin that you think is going to succeed in the future, let us know in the comments. But here are my thoughts. If an altcoin actually provides real value, enough to be used, enough to gain adoption, obviously that one is going to be a real winner. But in the same breath, when new money comes into this space, I don't really think that's going to matter as much. The coins that will pump hard, I think, are the coins, and this pains me to say it almost, I think the coins that are going to pump hard are the ones that have good marketing teams. And besides that, and you got to think about this, these old altcoins that all of us hold and all of us like, they're going to have a lot of selling pressure from people like you and me holding these bags. Many people holding these altcoin bags, they're not necessarily waiting for new all-time highs. Many are going to be happy to sell with any significant gains at all, not necessarily surpassing all-time highs, but if we just pumps up 10x or whatever from here, a lot of people will be happy with that. And this is going to cause ceilings and selling pressure. And that's as opposed to new altcoins, which have no selling pressure, most likely only buying pressure, because they're new and shiny and they have all the potential in the world. So, in short, I think old altcoins will pump hard if they have good marketing teams. Right now, off the top of my head, I can think of XRP, Tron, maybe Cardano if they start marketing at some point. Good marketing teams generate a lot of buzz. We saw that with Ripple, we saw that with Tron. But in actuality, it's probably going to be new altcoins that have a much better chance of pumping when new money comes in. Because, they're going to be newer, shinier, all the potential in the world, probably good marketing teams as well, and no selling pressure. So those are my thoughts. Right now, I'm only buying Bitcoin. I'm sure in the coming years, money is going to flow in and out of alts, and I'm going to be ready to ride the waves and grab the gains. And I'm not going into these altcoins right now, even if I think they have good marketing teams, because we really don't know how low they can go. In a previous video, I talked about how I probably wouldn't buy alts until Bitcoin got up to $20,000 again and surpassed its all-time highs. You can go back and check that out in our old video if you want to see my reasoning. I've seen a lot of other YouTubers talking about it since. But really, what that was meant to say is it's really only going to be when new money comes into this space that we're going to see these altcoins pump. Because in actuality, you don't know really what gives Bitcoin value. And you see something that's cheaper, and you go, oh, well, I could get 1,000 XRP tokens and only part of Bitcoin. But what do you think? What altcoins do you think are going to succeed in the coming years? Let me know in the comments. And if you like videos like this, give this video a thumbs up, support the channel, and if you want to be a part of daily videos like this, subscribe to the channel, join the team. It's going to be a great year. Appreciate you. I want to finish off today's video with a little piece of recent news. Check this out. Bitcoin is on pace to do more transactions in 2019 than any other year in history. And when in doubt, zoom out. So you can see the chart right here. These are transactions per day. And you can see that in 2019, we're already at all-time highs. And honestly, anything less would be a major red flag for me as far as Bitcoin goes as an investment. I mean, the fact that all this scaling and infrastructure and adoption, all the stuff that we've been pointing out to you for the last year and a half, if this was a lower bar, it would be a red flag. But the fact that it's up high, the year's not even over, it's a major green flag for me. Next piece of news. Today, we finally passed 85% of all Bitcoin that will ever be mined. So 85% of the total supply is in circulation as of today. So approximately another 120 years to mine the last 15%, with 9% of that coming in the next 5 years. Pretty interesting. The fact that we know to the day, approximately, the fact that we know to the day pretty much how Bitcoin is going to be mined, how much Bitcoin rather, the first time we've ever known an asset's supply to flow ratio, and we can kind of track its future value. If you've seen that Plan B chart that I've showed you plenty of times, you know that after the halving, according to stock to flow, Bitcoin's price should be around $60,000. Of course, it always kind of circulates above or below that. I mean, you've seen it before if you subscribe. Next piece of news, LedgerX is the first to launch physically backed Bitcoin futures in the US. Need to point this out because for a while it kind of seemed like this wasn't going to happen. And now it is. So the takeaways are as follows. The contracts, which pay traders out in Bitcoin rather than the US dollar, will be available to both institutional and retail investors. Yes. Customers can deposit Bitcoin rather than dollars when buying a contract. Yes. And LedgerX has beaten ICE's Bakkt and TD Ameritrade's ErisX to the punch with this new offering. And believe me, there is some competition as far as TD Ameritrade and Bakkt and LedgerX. They all want to be first to the punch. They all want to make money by offering these futures. So this is good for us as investors, I would say. Next piece of news. Actually, I want to recommend to you a debate that took place yesterday on CNBC's Crypto Trader. It was moderated by Ran Nooner, and it was between Gold Bug Peter Schiff and Bitcoin Bug Anthony Pompliano. Do we have a clip Do we have a clip?
You talk about how it's so clunky and cumbersome. I happen to have 50 grams of gold that I had in my wallet. This is the size of a credit card. In fact, it's a debit card, but it's made of gold. It doesn't weigh very much. Here, it's $1,500 at present melt value. Don't put that. But it's very easy for people to carry around physical gold. But this particular debit card links to an account that I have. You said you don't use gold on the internet. I have an account in gold.
So there's two things. One is the gold in that account, right? So you put gold in the gold money account. You have this card. When you want to transfer it to, say, Ron, right? The only way he can receive that gold is he gets an account.
So you get the idea. I really enjoyed this whole video. Very relaxed debate. I don't know if anybody's mind was changed, but what I like about this is that, it's everybody who is also saying, hey, don't give attention to Peter Schiff. All Peter Schiff wants is attention. Listen, Peter's mind possibly is never going to be changed, but what's good about this is great PR for crypto, actually better PR for Bitcoin, because it's waking up possibly hundreds of thousands of gold bugs, putting Bitcoin in the same tier as gold, and it's just kind of normalizing Bitcoin as this brand new asset in general. So no matter how much attention we give Peter Schiff or Peter Schiff gives to FUDing on Bitcoin, I think this is a net positive for Bitcoin. And I'll leave a link in the description. What are people saying in the comments? Here in the Netherlands, you can buy cars with Bitcoin. Schiff has too much invested in gold to ever publicly say Bitcoin is worth buying. I noticed that Schiff is actually a bad listener. I admire the patience of Pompliano. That's it, my friends. So you can always follow us on our Twitter at altcoindailyio. We do interesting things like polls and, post fun stuff. Nothing really new that I didn't show you the other day. And that is it. All right. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. It's going to be a great year.